Hey, chosen ones, collective. So this is part three. Let's work on this 12 laws of universe. It's not small. We should get through it. I should get through it. Sorry. So hope you're prayed up and did your meditation, your prayers, your grounding. The divinity in us honors the divinity in Mother Earth. Also, your gifts from God. And I have a staff. I hit that on the ground, and my heavenly realm opens up. Right, use my connection through my silver cord through God to um, beam me up into the heavenly realm and converse with my family there, right on the other side, and my divine spirit guides and divine Jesus, my soul tribe, and he protects my gate, and also who else? I just see a bunch 5D, physical 5D. We can always be there in love, right? And um, uh, enlightenment and joy. Okay, and I need to say, okay, it's very important that we clean all the junk off and out of our energy, all the trash, the dirt, whatever, especially if people are sending it to us. Clean it, cleanse it, just like a salt bath, and doesn't hurt, but it really does help. It's a preventative. Also, what's today? Saturday. So I hope you guys had a great Saturday. Tomorrow's Sunday. It's like 1:28, 2024, 1:38 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. Bum, bum, bum. God is within her. She will not fail. If anyone feels like a failure out there because they made a mistake, we all make bad choices and we learn. As long as we learn, heal, and change. When Divine says you have to release the past, he's serious. So a little bit harder for people who don't believe in God. And then when they get God smacked, it becomes a hard, humbling lesson, especially if you're a divine being and um, held to a higher standard by a bunch of other authorities and higher light beings on the other side. And, um, you have to change. You have to heal and you have to change. You have to prove your, um, for real. So it's really going on, collective. Let's get our energies cleansed, remove all that junk, all the lies, all of the break illusions, not be blind. We have our spiritual eyes, our heart, our soul, our training, our inner knowing. We're ambassadors for divine. Thank you, Jesus. We pray that Archangel Metatron join us and protect our all of our technology and help with maintenance for the collective and I. Also, around four corners are archangels. Also, around our homes, our cars, our all of everything that has to do with our life, all situations that you can see and know, and our loved ones, and all the nefarious ones who um, are not nice to innocent people. May they fall on their own sword. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Also, return to senders times 10 all spell work immediately in the powerful name of Jesus Christ. We do not consent, and put us on our highest timeline for our best and highest good. Also, I want to channel this your way and not my way, Holy Spirit. Guide the collective through what they need to know and see. Thank you. Amen. We love you. Okay. So this book probably has like 2 more chapters left. 12. So 4. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. And energy is always moving and always changing. This is one of our favorites. When I'm feeling especially stuck, thus far, we've talked about the importance of energy and maintaining a high vibration. Excuse me. Sad root beer. In fact, that each one sounds good, but we all know that life throws us a curveballs and just plain suck. If we easy, if we only had the primary 7 universal laws, excuse me, we'd be living in fear of negative situations. The law reminds us that there's nothing to be scared of because energy is usually in flux, and better still, STILL. You've got the power to transmute, change it, right? We can always transmute energy into positive energy, or God gives us upgrades. Also, Mother Earth, when we work hand in hand with Mother Earth and our light beings, our collective families, our ancestors, loved ones on the other side, I say archangels, and divine, of course, and us collective divine feminines, divine masculines, we have a direct connection, right, to the Most High, since we are connected. The superpower law. This may sound as if you have a superpower, and that's because you do. It is one of those things that sound obnoxiously easier than it is. You would have heard energy flows where attention goes, which is the gist of this law. Who is the thinker of your thoughts? You are. So, by exercising your power to activate thoughts and serve you instead of those that don't, you can transmute negative vibes first into neutral runs. Yeah, negative. I mean, neutral. Transmute, change the negative into neutral. That's just not positive, not negative, no charge. Okay. Then into the happier territory. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. By Viktor Frankl. Yes, we are all sovereign beings from God with royal bloodlines, and no one could take that away, even if whack jobs who are in covens try to. No. God says no. Excuse me. As they're saying now. Okay. So remember Dwayne, the annoying barista from the first law? Let's say he got fired from his job and came home to see that his boyfriend, Ben, left him. Shitty things happen, and there's sure to be some low frequency thoughts that arise: anger, resentment, sadness, and so on. These emotions are valid and should be acknowledged. But there's a difference between acknowledging and wallowing. Also, the anger. If someone's behavior isn't exactly what you agree with, you can discuss it later, work it out, unless there was an agenda for something else. But to keep it simple and not stupid, we can always communicate and work it out, right? Eventually, the pity party gets to an end, and Dwayne must pick himself up again by upgrading his thoughts. Also, changing our thinking, right? Transmuting the energy, changing our thinking. And in math, that's a triangle shape change, transmutation. Okay, so by upgrading his thoughts to ones that serve him instead of ones that keep him stuck at the pity party. Maybe he didn't like that job anyways. So this just means he'll have more time to focus on finding a much better one. Or, okay, so I mean, like that word stuck could be used in different ways, right? It depends on the tone and the rest of the sentence. The sentence. So, um, what we need to see beyond the veil and the bigger picture of an emotional intelligence is that it can mean several things. Okay. So, um, it could be that some people just are insane with a thought or an idea, and they need to change their thinking, transmute, right? If it's like too negative and it's harming themselves and others, obviously that's breaking a law. Or karma. We know the karma law is really real. Um, we want to bring in good karma, dharma. And also, it's a part of learning and growing up, a development of learning and listening, because that's all we really have to do as students is listen. Okay. And then when we're here listening, that gets rid of um, doubt. It gets rid of, I mean, like listening to something that is substantial, not just, anybody. It's just talking about education wise. Um, that will also, um, it'll just help us grow up a lot and mature. And it's not really knowledge is power. It's more like knowledge is something that can never be taken from us. And learning can save our lives if we know to look both ways before we cross the street, you know, something like that. But also stuck, I mean, like Lionel Richie's song, that was my sister and her husband's song. They've been together since like they're 15, and they're like in their 60s now. So they used to joke about that song a lot. Can't say it on my platform, but it was kind of like an inside joke with them. Okay, so it's a love song. And then it could mean too much also when it's, we can text and we can, write in the comments and things like that. And we have emojis to kind of show our feelings, our emotions, where we're coming from. Yet it's not quite the same as when you're hearing a voice or hearing your, being in the same area talking. communications more personable from your soul, from your voice, and the tone really is picked up. Like AI has a lot of, I mean, it's quick, yeah. I mean, but we're human beings, like when we take, do we really need all the rush and scrambling? I mean, it's like it's up to us. We can, but at the same time, we need to balance ourselves with rest and relaxation because we're human beings, and that's how we heal and balance ourselves. So, raising our vibrations is how we heal. Okay. Um, and change anything that was nefarious authentically. Okay. As for Ben, he was such a mess that Dwayne would spend hours cleaning up his messes after coming home from his shift. So now his thoughts began to shift, wherein he can spend more time enjoying his clean home. This this energy shift doesn't happen overnight, but in small steps. Things are beginning to get better. Excuse me. Is that carbonation in my root beer? Are beginning to get better for Dwayne. Excuse me. Advice: you always have the ability to trigger positive change in your life by choosing a better feeling thought in any given situation. Be aware of the stories you tell yourself and upgrade them into ones that get you closer to awareness, being alert and awake. No illusions, no lies, just cold hard facts that are truth in the physical world. And then in our 5D world, of course, our spiritual, um, you know, warm heart. Where you would like to be instead of keeping you stuck where you are. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy states that everyone around us is in constant flux. You can't see all of those changes because many of them exist in the cellular or autonomic level, but they keep growing, going on regardless. So very tiny. We need a microscope in human eyes, and God could see it because God is that. God is our cells. God is our DNA. God is the air we breathe, electricity that makes our heart beat. God is everything that we are, our spirit, and everything in the matrix and space, name it, is has the smallest particle is a neutron, the electrons and the protons, and the photons are sentient, and everything is actually sentient. We just have to get our spiritual eyes. And it's because it's all creator. Creator made everything with him. Creator made everything with him. So everything is creator and us. Every cell, every hair on my head. And they are listening. That's how we can heal ourselves. Okay. So changing our thinking and transmuting negative emotions and thoughts and feelings into positive ones, neutral ones. That's no charge. Okay. Specifically, how high vibrations can trigger improvements in low vibrations. For instance, if you are vibrating at a low frequency, exposing yourself to the high frequency of a cheerful, encouraging friend will naturally trigger energy transmutation in you. You know how they say that your light hurts the demons or triggers the demons? This law states that on an energetic level within everything within the universe is continually evolving or fluctuating. Right. Everything's moving. It continually evolving or fluctuating. Every action is preceded by a thought, with thoughts themselves having the ability to eventually manifest into our physical reality. So the spiritual reality is called a blueprint. Okay. Ever been around our negative person and felt your own positive energy depleting? Okay, this is why it's very important to be aware, awake, stand in our spiritual authority, cleanse our energy, lock it down, shut it down, and cleanse all of that, whatever. They probably have entities or demons or whatever. You never know, right? Unless you talk with their divine guides and they let you know. And so we need to cleanse all that gunk out and um, protect our energy. That's our responsibility, like brushing our teeth. And let's see, that's one example, but it can also work the opposite way around higher frequencies. Transmute lower ones when applied with intention. Knowing this, we can actively seek to uplift negative energy around us with our thoughts and action. Yes, we can. We in high vibes, we can resonate that we can what our body's really cool. God, right? Um we can okay, so like when he came back from studying or not studying, but praying or manifesting for 40 days and 40 nights and he was tested by the devil, Satan, and, he passed his test and said, "Satan, get behind me," and didn't fall for his crap, and, um, his aura was so strong and powerful. It it literally, like, just radiates yellow. He's from the solar plexus, the sun, the heart. It's the masculine energy. It's, healing, it's intelligence, and um, he's he's beautiful inside and out. And so the thing is that when he would go around the sick, they would raise their body would, he would just lift them up by being in his presence because his body would like start to resonate with that. And that's the great thing about crystals. Crystals are healing because when you put them on your body, hopefully cleansed, right? So there's no distractions. And say like, okay, this labradorite heart. Okay. So this labradorite heart is like a blue, right? Like communications. So if you have difficulty expressing yourself, hopefully there's no black magic done on you or issues like that. We can cleanse that energy and we can open up our throat chakra. It's like a color turquoise, really. It's not turquoise. I have turquoise in the other room, but and focus on this and prayer. You can ask Archangel Michael, cut the cords, the cleansings, clear out the trash or the dirt, any illusions casted on it. I'm opening it up. And you can listen on the YouTube has free frequencies of that chakra to open and also other frequencies that will help balance you out and clear your energy. Yeah, okay, so say I have a labradorite on my throat and it will bring and it has like issues or I have a sore throat or something, or I have issues communicating because illness always starts from an emotional issue. It does. And we can heal by this throat chakra being lifted up by the crystal. So I would put turquoise here, and then my throat, like wearing a turquoise necklace, right, would be a good idea. Or if you wanted to um, improve your throat, your pronunciation, your communication, your throat chakra opening up, and also healing your communication issues. It'll bring this up to resonate with the crystal, and each organ is different frequencies. So that's why there's different um, stones or crystals for different organs to resonate and bring it up to speed, bring it up to a healing level. And when your vibrations are high, viruses and bacteria can't live in high frequencies, high vibrations. Um, this is our galactic families are at high vibrations. We want to um, visit our galactic families. We have to raise our vibrations. Also, when you're in your divine psychic abilities or mediumship, you also have to raise your vibrations or channeling Jesus Christ, or it's it has to meet, because they in return kind of like meet us in the middle. And then yeah, so practice being in that, like raising your vibrations, transmuting the negativity thoughts or whatever to something neutral and positive, right? And then also protect yourself when you go out in the world, or if you're around any harsh energies, narcissistic people um, who only think about themselves. Um, you have to really, and a lot of us are empaths, so um, something to think about, something to do. Really, it'll save you. And it's part of our responsibility. So, to put the law into practice, it is recommended to do small things that will uplift your energy every day, whether it is singing in the shower, dancing like nobody is watching, or anything that works for you. Remember, small changes equal big results. The law of relativity, it's all relative. So, chapter 9. Imagine this: you wake up early in the morning and find it unusually bright. Only then did you realize that the iPhone's alarm did not ring, the cable was not plugged in correctly, and now the phone is dead. You are half an hour late for work. You struggle, but you always make time for your favorite daily ritual, which makes everything better. Morning American coffee for the local cafe. But today, of course, it was Dwayne, the half-wit barista, who messed up your order again, and you ended up with a cup of mocha. Then, while you were rushing to work, you receive a speeding ticket. Most people will agree that this is a bad start to the day. But George, the homeless man sitting outside the cafe that you may not even have noticed, would be happy to swap place with you at the time. He has no bed to wake up in, no iPhone, no change, no job to be late for, no money for coffee or a car to speed in. So if you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. I don't think she said it, but Oprah Winfrey. I'm not a big fan of her, so because of the legal stuff that's going on with her right now and children, and that group she used to belong to that's being taken down by the white hats, and it has to. We're going into 5D. Has to be high vibes. This law reminds us that experiences are not good or bad. They are neutral. Right. So if someone feels like a failure because, say, they married the wrong person, and they totally, they were beautiful and they were sexy and everything. And, I don't know what your reasons were, but when it turns out to be a complete demonic nightmare from hell, um, that, we all make just married the wrong person, you know? You just married the wrong person. And it's like, okay, you learn from it. You have to learn your karmic lessons and heal. And then we're smarter. We kind of know what we want the next time. Hopefully, we're more selective and use our divine guidance. And that's, we all are here to learn. You live and you learn. Um, so, in our human perceptions, we have emotions, thoughts, and judgments. And hopefully, it's not um, shallow, you know, superficial. Because when we make shallow, superficial, say like you marry someone because they're beautiful and the sex is good, and then they turn into a demonic backstabber who is, don't worry about them because God's wrath. God, karma never misses. Karma never discriminates any race or misses an address. Have you ever heard that? Karma never discriminates, no, or misses an address. So that evaluate experiences, okay? Good and bad labels. Now, I am not saying that we all go out and remove our brains. And one thing our galactic families want us to do is to not use labels and not tag everything. Okay. It's a human thing. And that's why they think it's funny. But at the same time, we have to learn how to um, break the old learned ways, the old um, thinking that was kind of like mind control. And we need to get more into our high vibrational thinking, okay? More like us, chosen, right? We are, we use our spiritual eyes and we live in our divine purpose instead of, the shallow, superficial eyes, right? Because we know better. That's going to, and I'm not saying that we're better than everyone. I'm saying that knowledge of just, you know, driving a car helps, right? If you know how to drive a car and you get behind a car, it really helps save your life, like that kind of a thing. So now I am saying that we all go out and remove our brains. He says not, but the law is to remember of the power of perception. Use the insight to your advantage. Oh, good or bad situation is not a fundamental truth. It is just a perception you experience based on comparing this experience with something else. Advice: looking at a bad situation from the different perception, can you actually help you transmute it into gratitude? Gratitude is a high vibrational word. That's where our feelings are very important with our emotions, and our emotions is our psychic and divine gifts. That's why we have to heal. When we heal them, then it's a lot easier to use them in a more beneficial way for our highest and best good. Okay, so no matter how bad it is for you, someone will always be in a worse situation. Rather than feeling like a victim, reframe it to feel gratitude. Absolutely. When looking at things in isolation, the law of relativity is related to the neutrality of things. Therefore, no particular person, experience, emotion, or behavior is evaluated as good or bad. Be- excuse me, before comparing it to something else. So, when we're looking at things in isolation, right? When we algebra, you isolate the variable, and the law of relativity is related to the neutrality of things. So It's in the center, right? Not polar, not charged. And so again, it's saying like to take out the labels. No particular person, experience, emotion, or behavior is evaluated as good or bad. Take off the labels. It's actually, and don't compare it to something else. It just is or be. For example, you may think you are poor, but it may also be because you have three wealthy uncles. Okay, so that's not faith before sight. That's shallow. That's childish. That's not mature or spiritually evolved. That's karmic vibes, actually. If you're going to compare yourself, what wealth is to your uncle by what they have. And to be honest with you, a lot of people that have a lot of shit are in heavy debt. Okay. So ask a realtor that lives in a wealthy area. They know a lot of them have a lot of debt. Not all of them, though. You know, there's some people who can buy homes all around the world and they're debt free with it, you know, but there's a lot of other things to consider. Was it an integral way? Was it, completely honest way they made that? You know, um, hopefully it is. And if it is, I'm happy for them and I want to know what they did to earn it that way. We can have something to learn from each other. Um, by keeping this law in mind, you can pay attention to the fact that no matter what happens to you, there will always be multiple perspectives. Everyone has a different perspective or view, point of view. Trying to see through these different perspectives can make you more grateful. Yeah, totally. That's what my son said from the other side. I don't want you guys celebrating or thinking of me on the day I pass away. I want you to get together and celebrate my birthday. You know, he always does that. He'll always shift my thinking. If I'm thinking about, I used to drive by where he was hit by a car, and immediately I would get a flash of him like 3 years old going down a slide. I'd start laughing and that was him. He was, helping me switching my thinking. I had to shift my gears through my 7 stages of grief and loss, right? There's shock and go through it. Look it up online. It's everywhere online up until acceptance. Once we accept it, we're consenting that it's okay. It's okay, I'm good. I've accepted it and it is what it is. And this is the way that it's going to be. Let it be. And now we have to refill it with something that is like what? Turning our lemons into lemonade. So something better. Well, gosh, he's in spirit. I'm open with him in spirit, Holy Spirit. So we have an even greater relationship now because he's, you know, got my back. He watches over his mom. He helps me, talks to me. Um, he makes me do these videos. And if I see the videos start to glitch a little bit, I know it's him. Or I get chills. I have codes with all my beings, my divine beings, my family, my mom, my dad. So um yeah, it really thrusted me into opening up my more spirituality more than before. So um yeah, and it made my energy stronger. Um it made my heart a lot bigger and a lot more appreciation and gratitude for our spiritual team and um how much we're connected and we work together. And can also tell you where you can improve in your life. This law states that we tend to compare things in the world, but in reality, everything is neutral. Okay. So that means no charge, no positive, no negative. It's just centered. Okay. It's just is what it is. No label, no whatever. Um, what is this one again? I'm sorry. This is the law of relativity. Relativity. Okay. So it's a relative. Relative. It relates, you know. So everything is neutral. Relativism exists in everything. Ultimately, meaning comes down to our perspective and perception, which is individually. Everyone has their own perception, their own point they want to get across, um, and perception. That's why it's really important when you are very important when in communicating and working things out. It's like you need feedback. We need to ask, okay, or if someone tells me something, I would repeat it back to them. Did I get this straight? Is this correct? And kindly, the next person, that person would say, no, actually meant blah, blah, blue and blah, blah, blue. Like, maybe an example. Then I'll like completely understand and get it because everyone has their own perspective, way of learning. Everyone definitely has that. And whatever works for you, but that's part of getting to know each other, right? And that's important in communication skills. Or I would, say, would you please repeat that back to me so I know we're on the same page, you know? And an educated person wouldn't get offended. They would completely understand that we need to be on the same page. It is what it is. It's neutral. It's not going to have a charge. It's not going to have a negative cattiness. Some people do that. They are an indirect meaning. There's different indirect meanings though, right? There's a cattiness, a bitchiness where people like make those innuendos where they're just trying to mess with you. What's it called? Like gaslighting. Those people are narcissists. Okay. They're controlling and only think of themselves. That's handle that differently. That has nothing to do with education. Education would be staying in the neutral, not taking it personal, and being truthful. Okay. And explaining what you had to say on a neutral level, no charge, no negative charge, trying to gaslight that person, trying to make them think that they're actually saying something indirectly. And if they are, I'd laugh at them. If, because educated people don't do that. You have to, or a positive charge of like, um, just taking you in a higher vibration. And they're good feelings. And at the same time, it's better to stay neutral. And it's just, like you can explain to someone in a neutral way and it's plain and simple, right? Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay. Applying this law can help us understand the most difficult parts of our lives with greater compassion. For example, if we feel ungrateful about our living situation, it could be because we are comparing our arrangements with someone else's. On the other hand, it would be better if we appreciate what we have without having to compare it with something else. Exactly. You can't, um, I mean, you can, but really, I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like saying, how do you value success? Like, is success having a Mercedes in your driveway with a lot of debt and living beyond your means because you're trying to impress the Joneses? And no, that's really shallow and superficial and catty. And it catches up with those people one day, even debt, living smarter and um, just loving ourselves and being content with what we have, is okay. We don't have to go into debt to try to impress people who probably don't like us and or don't know us and pretty frankly don't care. And if they do, then they need to care more about themselves than, um, because eventually we all have to grow up and be held accountable for our thoughts and feelings, as in 12 laws of the universe. On the other hand, it would be better if we appreciate what we have without having to compare it with something else. Yeah. And actually, my mom taught me having a good heart is all the riches that is needed. Yeah. Jesus taught that. And he lived it. He walked the talk. He's very wise. And um, a lot of our ascended masters who um, taught us how to have a more quality life, to find peace, to find healing, to find harmony. And once we can do that with our emotions, then our physical illness is helps a lot. I have this book, um, The Complete Dictionary of Ailments and Diseases. Okay, so these were written by therapists. The most comprehensive dictionary dealing with the conflicted thoughts, feelings, and emotions of the at the root of illnesses. And most diseases are parasites, and there are earth walkers and demonic leeches, parasites that suck the energy out of you. So it's very important to we stay prayed up, clean our energy, clean our body, have high vibrational foods, which is no GMOs, organics, grown in the sun, right from the sun, the source, the most energy, right? Where we get our upgrades, our DNA codes. Let me tell you who wrote this. Okay. Um Jacques 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 Martel. JACQ, excuse me, UES Martel. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know. Jacques. So whoever the name is this, I'm sorry. And I'm pronouncing it wrong. I don't know. So yeah, this and then what's great about this book is that whatever the illness is, there's an affirmation of acceptance, how to heal that um that emotional issue. Okay, so like the esophagus, right? And it says right here, the passageway for food on its way to be digested, it connects to the pharynx and the stomach. So most people, they feel like it's a trap, right? And it's also um because we breathe, right, through the same pipe. So we have to say that I accept to let go of any bitterness. Okay. Anyone has any throat issues, it's from bitterness. You need to heal that. Like, don't be bitter. Forgiveness to everyone and to the universe. Send it to God. Once you surrender to God, miracles happen for real. And to see each experience in my life as an opportunity to grow. Okay. That's not in a superficial way. Nothing like that. It's the emotions. Okay. This is our soul, our values, our um our strength, our love, our heart, the stuff that we take with us when we cross over and last for infinity, the stuff that matters. And um what else? So that the joys of life will nourish me. I accept to be a pioneer, a leader. I am engaged in action. I seek new opportunities for flourishing, not opportunists for money or superficial, shallow stuff like that. This is a deeper personal level, flourishing, being radiant, you know, beautiful inside and out, not beautiful outside and tempted and then opens their mouth and it's ugly or whatever. Um, by forgiving and any act or word that injured me, I release these dark clouds that floated above my head and prevented me from moving forward. See, this is also transmuting and shifting our energy to neutral. Moving forward, I open myself to the lessons, right? And this is also being ill is also a karmic lesson, right? So, because we're learning that we need to address our emotions. Being human has emotions, what our feelings, our thoughts, it's all connected. That life will show me, and I thus gain greater freedom and inner peace. Okay. That is priceless. There's a lot of very wealthy people who couldn't save their loved ones because of illness. Not all the money in the world, you know, and God will do that. I don't know if it's a backfired spell work or an emotional issue. If anyone's doing black magic, they need to be learning the laws and get right with God Most High. It is an emotional issue that needs to be healed. Um, Loving ourselves is loving God. And I'm not saying I'm God. I'm saying I'm everything, every cell, everything is and has on the smallest piece a neutron, and God is every neutron in everything that is making my body function. And that's what I'm saying. I'm a fractal. Um, so saying I accept the 7 stages of grief. We're transmuting our energy, our thoughts, and in relativity, we all relate when we're not racist. Does that make sense? We're equal. Same thing as neutral. We're all relating to the same, a synonym. We're all the same. A uniform. We're the same. We're a team. We're one. That's relativity. And then it can go into science. It can go into physics. And Einstein talked about the law of relativity, right? And all kinds of I mean, we can go on deeper dives. It gets very interesting, and I love this crap. I like it. I like it a lot. So I released these dark clouds that floated above my head and prevented me from moving forward. I opened myself to the lessons that life will show me, and I thus gained greater freedom and inner peace. Yeah, best spiritual practices, best management for our well-being, mental health, physical health, emotional health, relationship health. And relationships is what us earth angels are all about, right? Earth angels, we help. Okay. Also, people like anything that has to do with the lungs, it's usually because you're missing someone. So, some to think about. I mean, I can look it up and see what the healing affirmation is for that. Um, that would be like smoking, right? I smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes. They're nasty. I smoke cloves, which is an herb, and I have my vape. And I'm okay. Nah, I'll just stick to what I don't know. It's already almost an hour, so I'm gonna press on and get through this with you guys, collective. Okay, so um, when we're in the neutral area that is not positive or negatively charged, and thinking about gratitude, we can also tell you where you can improve in your life. This law states that we tend to compare things in the world, but in reality, everything is neutral. And also, everything has a frequency, a vibration. Even Einstein said the numbers are alive. Oh, that was Nikola Tesla. So it's grateful. Grateful is a 5D vibration. So pay attention to how you're feeling, and it'll kind of give you an idea of the frequency that you're sending out, and to you, because we're water, right? 90% water, and or 95, and um, it's affecting us too. So when we stay positive or neutral in equality, that's like our galactic families, and they stay healthy. So relativism exists in everything. Ultimately, meaning comes down to our perspective and perception. Applying this law can help us understand the most difficult parts of our lives with greater compassion. For example, if we feel ungrateful about our living situation, it could be because we are comparing our arrangements with someone else's. On the other hand, it would be better if we appreciate what we have without having to compare it with something else, right? There is nothing good or bad, nor is anyone born good or bad. Everything is a series of expression, and there is more than one point of view for any situation or challenge. In other words, we are the ones who give meaning to things, so we can choose to see things as good or bad, oh, as bad or good for us, right? Everyone has their own perception and their own point of view and ways to get it. And in relativity, a relationship, we're all equal here. We're all the same here. And so the angels get it. 10, the law of polarity. Okay, so now we're going to the ends. There are two sides to everything, of course. Everything has an opposite of the same continuum. If I say continuum, how would you know what heat is if you didn't experience cold? Okay. And this is why we're here on earth, to experience duality. We don't know what we do want after. If we Why do we go through bad things? We know what we don't want, so we know what we do want. How would you know? Or you can get educated and learn from other people's mistakes and benchmark them and save a lot of time and grief. So, how would you know the feeling of joy if you never felt sad? You need one to experience the other. And this is the essence of polarity. So, let's take a moment to be grateful for the bad things in life that allow us to experience the good things or appreciate the good things. I live in a climate where we have cold and dreary winters, but I have learned that this is what makes the joy of spring such a wonderful experience and what makes me love and appreciate hot, sunny days even more. All truths are but half truths, and every truth is half false. There are two sides to everything. Opposites are identical in nature, yet different in degree. The Kybalion. And so we do have to compare and contrast when it comes to an educated choice, an education. So, like, don't be superficial or shallow, right? Yet we can compare and contrast an idea. We can debate. We can articulate different points of view, usually in a peer-reviewed research at a university, where there's given lots of grants for millions and millions of dollars. They better have it scientific and structured to the way it's supposed to be. And that's compare and contrast and a lot of numbers and a lot of different authorities or gurus in the field. And there's rules to it. It's always a rule. So in duality, this is talking about like, okay, well, even when someone tells you something, are you going to believe it? Are you going to listen to the other side of the story, right? Not to get sides, but just for your own facts. Um, it's just intelligent way to live and fair. Also, I don't know, like it's childish, but when I was in elementary school and I heard my friends or groups say something about someone, I always it was innate. It was always in me in my DNA to go find out for myself. I don't know why. Curiosity kills the cat, right? Because I'd be like, oh, they're right. Oh shit. But sometimes I'd find out that, oh, well, that person wasn't that bad, or um just I like to make up my own damn mind. I've always been like that. I'm an old soul. So anyways, um, we can apply the same concept to our emotions through the despair of losing a loved one due to illness. We can learn to appreciate our health instead of taking time with family and friends for granted without sadness. How do we know what happiness is like? Without one, the other ceases to exist. All our human emotions are part of the human experience and serve a greater purpose, whether they feel good or not. Since all points on the emotional continuum are necessary to provide a complete life experience, we can accept the negative emotions have a purpose if we are angry, sad, or depressed. And we can also not consent. And there's a lot of projections that people do too, where they um, send out thoughts to try to make you think bad of someone or have bad. I know it's really weird. Trust me, but I've heard there are those. There's always one screw loose that does that. Will try to cast spells to make you think bad of someone in your dreams, or I don't know. That's why it's really important to raise your vibrations, get right with divine, because that's where you have all of the protection. And we can keep growing, keep going up. We can accept the negative emotions have a purpose, but there's a lot of things I do not consent to. So I'm very careful to what I accept or what I click on. And then also, if it's a trick, you can always clear, delete. You always say, I do not consent to any trickery, any spell work. Say it. Bless your food. You know how the Bible says, bless your food? Yeah. Especially if you buy anything from Walmart, definitely bless it. I don't know who's um, in charge of it now, probably the White Hats by now, but there was a group that owned it that didn't have the best intentions, and that was with negative thoughts and spell work. So we have to stay alert and vigilant. And the traditions of the Bible are there to protect us. They really are, and save us from, it's when you really learn that stuff is real and there's really people that do have bad intentions, then, it's like you have to, hi, thank you. You have to be smart, but we also it's good to be smart, street smart too, right? We have to um, just know what's really going on and aware of our spiritual um, vibrations and laws, right? Balance, stay in balance. Thank you for the hearts. It's very sweet. Made me feel good. Thank you. Um, so thank you for being here. Okay. Um, where are we? Since all points on emotional continuum. Okay, read that. Okay, so in personal growth, we tend to resist and suppress these emotions because they don't feel right. However, once we go beyond this point, there will be some important information that will help in our emotional and personal growth. Going beyond, seeing the bigger picture is going beyond the veil, right? What's the mask, right? A front, fake. You know, there's a lot of good looking people out there, but they're, you know, they can really hurt people bad. A lot of serial killers were good looking, okay? and were in college or lived in the neighborhood, in a family neighborhood. You just never know, okay? You never know. And don't judge a book by its cover. Advice. Negative emotions are inevitable but necessary. Without them, we would not know what positive emotions are. The goal is to accept the emotion and instead of focusing on resisting, because that's not flow. Resistance will always have um, a it's not in the flow of our divine, right? When we open up our silver cord, we're in flow. Accept it and focus on it, how it can help you move on in the flow. When considering the law of polarity, the most important thing to remember is that absolutely everything has an opposite. And opposites attract, but there's lessons in that. Remember that. All right. Um, the same is will be good. All right. Neutrality. So we want to go in the flow of divine. Um, and it is the existence of these opposites that allow us to understand our lives. Therefore, when you experience some difficulties, it will help you to truly accept the good development ahead. By remembering this regularly, you can improve your abilities to be resilient during difficult times, right? Right, soldiers? Our collective soldiers? For example, although a bad breakup is painful, it will teach you, yes, and that's how we get past our karmic lessons. We learn them and change. Heal, learn, change. Um, Apologize to God would be good because it's gone that far. Yeah. Um, God wants an apology. Um, a repentance is what he calls it. Although a bad breakup is painful, it will teach you that what does not work for you in a relationship and help you find what works in the end. And also let people, I surrender to God. You know, Jesus does ease my pain. We're a soul tribe and he never fails me. Also, um, I feel a relief. I do. I feel the shift. I feel an energetic shift in me. And also, um, okay, so this law says that everything in life has an opposite, good and evil, love and fear, hot and cold. The key is to understand that these are two sides of the same coin. Okay, so that's another growing up lesson that we have to learn, right? How to get out of our ego, not be superficial, don't fall, don't be a dumb ass fool. And that's a real important lesson on the streets. Don't be a fool. Don't be a sucker. Don't be a sucker and get hurt or tricked, right? There's a lot of tricksters out there. Being street smarts. I would say I'm street smart first and then book smart second. And being from LA, maybe. But I'm born in Long Beach. um, no, I've been blessed knowing a lot of wonderful people, really. Um, so the key is to understand the two sides. So when we can see the bigger picture, when we can see beyond the veil, is really helpful. Yeah, it is. Especially like when my son, I know he's on the other side. It kind of like forces me into seeing the bigger picture. And I want to think that now. I'm trying to retrain myself, um, my subconscious. I try to catch myself and rethink, oh, I'm not going to think like that anymore. I'm going to think like, beyond the veil. I'm going to think the bigger picture because it's I'm not gonna take it personal. I'm not gonna take it as, um, something that is, "Woe is me, the victim pity party." Actually, we all are players in the theater for the bigger picture, and we are working together to, bring this planet all for the greater good. And as collective chosen ones understand this. So, but anyone watching that isn't, that's, um, how we um, think like a soldiers, right? Warriors, God's army. Use this mantra to work with this law. All contrast brings more clarity. Okay, clarity. So we're not idiots, and we also have to be aware of our own truths, our own knowledge, training, right? And our divine guidance gives us clarity. Okay. Um, so our clairvoyance, knowing our spiritual gifts, our abilities. If you are faced with a difficult situation like a breakup or a health issue, for example, tune in to what the opposite looks like, which may reveal a new perspective or lesson. And that's really sharp. That's like a really intelligent way to like Job in the Bible, he pondered, he was thinking, comparing, contrasting, reflecting, um, doing the night of the dark soul, and that's how we begin healing, right? We're reflecting on why this happened and why that happened. And, take it down to our laboratory and look at underneath our microscope, not physically, but in a metaphorical way. Because there are two sides, right? We have our intelligence, we have our spiritual, we have, um, and our physical. So it just comes with being an earthling. The law that can play a big role when you study its meaning, however, in the simplest terms, okay? Everything has two opposing parts. For example, low, high, slow, fast, white, black, confused. I know this can be very intense, but think of it this way. Everything is good, and with good comes bad. Was that like mom and dad? But there's different levels to it, That's why everyone has their own perspective depending on their level, okay? Are they emotionally intelligent? Have they depending on their walks of life. Um, but think of it this way, everything is good and with good comes bad. Conversely, that for example, if you are in a bad situation, then there must also be some good in it. Well, that depends. Whether it's from what you learned from the situation. Okay, so um, that's the intensity of it. I guess if you fell into a pool of sharks, how can you find what's good in that? The good in that is knowing training, knowing how to defend yourself, knowing exactly what to do, where you are calm and relaxed. Maybe they can't see you if you don't move. Maybe you practiced that before and it doesn't bother you. Maybe you've done it for 20 years and you're an expert at it. Everyone's different. Whether it's from what you learned from the situation or what happened after the incident, nothing is completely wrong, no matter how you look at it. Okay. And everyone's different with that. Everything has an opposite side. If there is an increase, there's also a decrease. And this is duality, okay? The matrix is only duality, where it could be superficial, it could be fake, right? People can um, have a front, but what are their true intentions? Are they really trustworthy? Are they really someone who's never going to hurt you? Is going to be down for you when shit hits the fan? Someone who has your back, someone who loves and protects you, right? Like um, a baby trusts us. I mean, it is a vulnerable spot. And at the same time, I mean, if you're strong enough and skilled enough, you can be vulnerable, right? Open your heart. And then if you have to defend yourself, lay down, all right? But there's a spiritual side that is not duality, okay? And that's where strong people who can open up their heart if they've been hurt and be vulnerable, because when you're so strong in your spirit and you know that Holy Spirit's got your back, you have an open connection with divine, straight to divine, like sitting right next to us, actually in us. And there's just a a faith, walk by faith, not by sight, that everything's going to be okay. It's all right. And that's why having I know, in our collective understands this, right? Being in our divine and in alignment with Most High, um, you don't have to worry about duality at all, because it is God. So, if if there is an increase, there is also a decrease. If there is a light, then there's also a darkness. It cannot exist without the other. Experiencing these polarities is part of the human experience. They also help us learn from our mistakes and keep and help us identify what we don't want so that we can move aware. Oh, I'm sorry, more, it looks like move. So we can be more aware of what we want, right? Like they say, the second time you seem to know what you want. The law of rhythm, nothing is permanent. Okay. And rhythm's also movement, it's a vibration, it's sound, it's music, it's our DNA, it's everything. It's God, it's a neutron, electron, proton, and photons who think for themselves, not visible to the human eye. The earth revolves around the sun, the moon revolves around the earth, and the earth rotates once every 24 hours. The four seasons change, the tide ebbs and flows. Excuse me. I'm gonna wet my whistle. That's really good. I need to get some more of that. Um, become day. Oh yeah. Ebbs and flows, day turns to night and becomes day again. These are expressions of rhythm for thousands of years. Energy is always moving, and these movements, just God, um, and these movements create cycles and patterns. We have seen such examples in the stock markets, socio political tendencies, and life circles. Each stage has a different purpose. Okay, so now it looks like we're going into numbers, the law of rhythm. Nothing is permanent. Function, right? Not dysfunction. So it's going to be numbers. But together they are essential to the overall situation. To be interested in the changing of the seasons is a happier state of mind than to be hopelessly in love with the spring. George Santayana. I'm going to read that again. To be interested in the changing of the seasons is happier state of mind than to be hopelessly in love with the spring. Okay, that's what their perspective is. Okay, someone else can have a different perspective who love the snow, right? Like building snowmen. um, it's okay. Rhythm is everywhere. We tend to stick to a certain stage without understanding the overall situation. Oh my God. Yes. Learned behavior, old paradigms. A lot of people don't like to change. Change is natural. Okay. Change is good. You know, you have to. Um, you know, when boys grow older, they get their voice changes. I mean, it's a part of growing up, it's part of life. We tend to stick to a certain stage without understanding the overall situation. We like bull markets, long summers, progressive politics because it feels good, or your parents did it and you just do what your parents do. And then, you know, it's up to you. It's your choice. You make up your own mind because it feels good. But as we learned in the law of polarity, we actually need other stages because they're are part of a larger whole. This law teaches us to step back 100 steps and realize that everything has its time. Yes. And also, everyone should be doing their own research and make up our own minds, right? And then, you're voting for something that all your friends vote for. And then you do your own research and you find out what I'm I'm vegetarian and I don't believe in eating animals. And what I voted for was um, something that, I don't know, to end vegetarianism. You're going to be forced to eat meat or just something. I'm making that up. You know what I mean? Just something that is not really relative to um, being free, really, having our freedom. We often hope that things meet our conditions and schedule. But if we just take a deep breath and be patient, we will see that the trend is always reversing. Believe in the process. As with the outside world, that's the duality, the same principle applies to us. Our thoughts, moods, and emotions are constantly changing. When we are sad, we often feel that this feeling will last forever. When I am in a bad mood, one of my favorite mantras is, "This will not last forever." Or in the Bible says, "This too shall pass." The idea itself creates a scale of vibration that gradually rises. And I'll tell you what, if you just meditate or just sit still for a while and use your spiritual eye, your spiritual feelings, and connect with your divine light beings, your holy angels, the high vibrational who, and from God, then we also can raise our vibrations, and that can help with our choice of words because we'll feel it and we'll know. Sometimes don't go by the systems that we're taught. Use your divine guidance, honestly, because we've been taught a lot of things that weren't correct. And we're learning how to navigate the truths. Like the kids being born today, they're on higher vibrations. They know what to do. We have crystal children, we have indigo kids, because these souls, higher vibrational beings, volunteered to come here to break down the old low vibe systems. And we are, and raising the vibrations to go into 5D. And it's a process. It's happening, but look at the planet 50 years ago. It's a lot different, a lot. And the vibrations are a lot higher. And um, we are changing, getting closer to our galactic shift. And so that same principle applies. And feel this feeling will last forever. But we have to be knowledgeable. We know that it's temporary. It's Well, actually, everyone's different, but you don't know when you're going to heal. Like when my son crossed over, I didn't know when exactly. I would be um finished, I guess. But changing to a gratitude attitude, it'll be a lot faster and you'll feel better and more appreciative. And it's just you'll be benefiting the planet like we're here to do, right? Starseeds. Um, so remind us that it will not last forever, right? Or write in a journal, depending on what it is. Or write in a journal anyways. Pay attention to your vibrations, frequency, energy. Likewise, it is important to remember this concept when things are going well because we know it is not permanent. Understanding this law helps us develop a mindset of gratitude, which is one of the easiest high frequency emotions to use at any given moment. So that's why Holy Spirit told me gratitude when I was like, hey, how am I going to get through this one out of everything I've been through? And Holy Spirit said, clear as day, gratitude. So I worked on it and it works. Living proof. Go with the flow of the rhythm. We do not control these rhythms, but if we can learn to go with the flow instead of resisting it, we will be much happier in the long term. Okay, so these are the rhythms of nature, the rhythms of what God created, not um, a narcissist trying to be a bully. Okay, those need to learn their karmic lessons and surrender to God, and that'll handle that. But I'm just saying, stand up for yourself when someone is going to try to bully you. And trust me, bullies are the biggest pussies. They are. My mom taught me that, and she's right. Okay. And they're usually only sorry because they got caught. But if you have the patience to wait long spring, you will be abundant. What? The flow, the rhythm. Okay. So we can learn to go with the flow instead of resisting it. We will be much happier in the long term. If you planted an orchard in October, you will be a frustrated gardener. But if you have the patience to wait until spring, you will be abundant. Okay. And I guess it depends on what you're growing too, right? Advice. When things are going well, appreciate it while it lasts. Go with the flow. If it's from God, you'll be fine. When things don't go well, knowing that better days are right in front of you, you will feel comforted. Learn to observe the ebb and flow of life patiently, having faith that there is a time for everything. There is, right? And faith, okay? I didn't hear that word faith in duality. Why? Because it's the karmic bill side. And in our knowing of better days, our understanding, even in sad times, this is a more higher level of understanding emotional intelligence and numbers, right? Numbers don't lie. A rhythm, which is vibration, frequency, okay? Um, Nothing is permanent, constant change. That's why in this understanding and accepting change and going with it, um, being flexible, that's the word. Being flexible, will um, keep you moving. Keep on moving. Because when you're too rigid and stiff, um, you'll break. So you need to be flexible. You need to have your shock absorbers on, right? When you ski, you have to bend your knees a little bit so that you can, take the bumps and the curves when you're going really fast downhill, right? And it's more fun, like an Olympic athlete can pretend. But yeah, I miss that. I'm from California. We got the surf and they snow, right? You can do what they say. You can snurf. You can snurf with a smurf. You can surf and snow in the same day. Okay, so Where were we? Cycles, phases, and developments. Yep, flow and balance. Yeah, it helps with their balance. You will understand how to rise or on negative cycles, right? Because you could surf it, you can ski it, it is a um a muscle, right? To never be overexcited or allow negative situations to penetrate your conscious mind. The key to success is mastering this law is to know how to maintain a balance, equality, right? Take a moment to think about this. How can some companies thrive in a recession while others fail? It is it luck or their ability to overcome negative situations and see opportunities? Well, having an MBA, I can tell you it's because we do our own research and we do look at successful companies and we do look at companies that failed, and we don't do what the ones that failed did. We do what the successful ones do, and if it's integral, okay, and the employee satisfaction, um, the the customer. There's all kinds of surveys and statistics you can do on that, and the numbers do not lie. Just like the energy, the vibrations, and the frequencies. But human eyeballs, the faith eyeball is the most dependable, and your heart eyeballs, your feels, right? With your clear sentience and your gut feeling. The law of gender manifestation requires balance of energies. So, this is the 12th chapter. Manifestation requires balance of energies, and we want to keep it upright from God. Creation requires both yin and yang. Both masculine and feminine energy is required in an equilibrium to create anything. And this is also the twin flame union soul, but depending, everyone has a soul contract, and the one that's connected to divine, um, I'm listening to divine. That's who makes my choices. Is required to equilibrium to create anything. Sexual reproduction of species is a great example of this law in the physical world and in the way it is more obvious to us. This concept also applies in the energy world. No creation, converting an idea into reality. And is possible without the balance of male and female energies. Okay. First, we must understand a very important concept. All, including us, have a combination of male and female energies, and we must balance them to create the things we want. Although we are born with male and female sexual organs, we all have both energies within us that have nothing to do with our sex or sexuality. This is like the angels. We are, thank you. Oh, back at ya. Thank you. Like the angels, our angels don't have sex organs because they said they always feel in that the high vibrations of the orgasmic state, and they always feel good. They don't need to, they don't have human bodies, so they don't need to procreate on Earth. So, but they have both male and female organs. I mean, energies. Sorry. Um, so, in terms of energy, male energy is creative, practical, and far-sighted, meaning you can see far away. But unbalanced, it can take the form of control, anger, and conflict. Well, that's that adrenaline, you know. And on the other hand, when female energy is balanced, or no, testosterone, I'm sorry, women have adrenaline too. It's the testosterone. And I'll tell you, like, having a man balanced in your home with dad, I mean, like my son's dad and I, when I was with him all day and I talked with him and he's like, "Oh, mom, tickle my belly." And then when dad came home, he would start crying. And it's because a man's voice is very like, um, it's deeper and it's louder and it's assertive and um it's got leadership, it's got, a little bit of authority and makes its point real clear. And my poor baby would be like, he'd start crying until he, but his dad is has such a warm heart. Um, he would breastfeed him if he could, honestly. I'd be like, Have my baby back." I'm like, "God, is it going to work yet?" But I think he took some time off to spend more time with them because he, kind of hurt his feelings. He was like, "Oh, I want my son to love me." So I think he tried to like soften his voice a little bit. But anyways, yeah, like if a woman shouts, I mean, and women can get in their power, most definitely. And um, but a man does have a physical difference in their, a boy's voice changes, not the girls, right? So there is a difference. And um, in our physical bodies, other than the genders, but it's the hormones. And right, men are more harder, right? And then women are more like softer and gushy. So, um, in terms of energy, male energy is creative, practical, and far-sighted, but unbalanced. It can take the form of control, anger, and conflict. On the other hand, when female energy is balanced with male energy, it is intelligent, nurturing, and intuitive. Unbalanced, it is fragile, and it is personal strength is weakened. Oh shit. Oh, hell to the no. No, I do I can I can feel fragile. I can definitely understand and have wisdom of fragility in a poetic way and also in a feeling because I've experienced. And um yet we live and we learn, right? But it reminds me of that beautiful song by Sting, How Fragile We Are. Sometimes we forget how fragile we are. And I'll tell you, being from LA, I learned that, hey, the toughest people are really the most sensitive. So, and its personal strength is weakened. The trick is to balance these energies because only when both are used correctly can we manifest our desires in the material world. Right. Prayers are heard. Prayers work for me. I pray to God. Nothing, nobody else. Um, Also Mother Earth. I work with Mother Earth. She is um I'm grateful for her. And my divinity in me honors her divinity and connect with her and ground and transmuting energies. And I also flow from source to her and transmute grounding, holding on to her core and back up through God. And so um I'm kind of like um the middle piece of between God and Mother Earth. They don't need me to connect yet. Being I can. Being an antenna, it gives me a good charge and a cleanse. And also I connect with both. It's just It's a good feeling. And we got to show our gratitude, our appreciation. It also helps raise the vibrations on this planet. Therefore, Mother Earth is very appreciative of that. And um, okay, the second part of the law reminds us that everything, including our desires, has a gestation period during which they will continue to grow until they emerge in the material world. Okay, so merging, that's that's what our real that's what it's like on 5D. We're spirit. We merge. We don't know what it's like to have a physical world. We wanted to experience what it's like to have a physical world. I drink lots of water. Sorry. Wet my whistle too. I have a hit of what is it? Fruity Tooty strawberry roll-it. It's not bad. Okay. Um, the second part of the law reminds us that everything, including our desires, has a gestation period during which they will continue to grow until they emerge in the material world. So, kind of like how a seed for a flower has a gestation period, right? It has a different stage as it grows. This is good example, the law of rhythm. Do you want to give birth to the excuse me to the baby 1 week after conception? No. Or are you willing to wait for the 9 month cycle for him to or her to fully develop into a baby that can survive outside the womb? Absolutely. And I would try, even though my last month, I'm like, I'm so ready. But you have to let them develop the last stages of the lungs. Okay. And that's very important. We need to breathe to live. And so I wouldn't even want contractions until I knew the doctor would do like a sonogram and make sure the lungs were good to go. Um, outside the womb, we must be patient with our desires because everything created in the world was first a seedling of a thought that was nurtured by the male and female energy for a period of time, gestation, before it becomes a reality. So that's science advice. Embrace your male and female energies to achieve a balance that nourishes and tends your both ideas and desires during the inevitable gestation period before their manifestation. Yes. And if you weren't awake and you were talking or thinking or feeling something that you don't want to manifest, quickly catch yourself. Delete. I delete. Stop. No, I delete it, Lord. I take, right then and there. Because I think you have like 3 seconds, the 3 second rule. Yeah, maybe that's where that came from. Because you got 3 seconds until it goes into the universe. And you get like if you see the numbers 1111, that's definitely make sure it's all cleaned and picture perfect like you want it because it will be a snapshot of your thoughts and feelings from the universe. And let's see here. So finally, the law of gender has a little to do with physical gender. Rather, it means that there are two main types of energy. Um, you can think of them as masculine and feminine, yin and yang, or anima and animus. I never heard of those words before. Oh, I've heard of anime. We all have a certain amount of both energies. And if we want to live happily, we must find a way to strike a balance between the two. And it's the hormones too, mostly that Hi. Yeah, exact. I wait for, so I say divine's timing is the best time. It is best to be patient. Patience is, uh, it's a good lesson to learn. Don't rush. Haste is waste. Where are you from? Are you still here? Aparajita? Did I say your name right? Well, thank you for being here. Okay. We all have a certain amount of both energies, which is hormones, which is down to the smallest piece is a neutron. That is, everything is God, Most High. And if we want to live happily, we must find a way to strike a balance between the two. Think about the role each type of energy seems to play in your life and whether any of them is in excess or deficient. Hmm. I think I'm a little both. Well, I know I am. My friend gave me a test. I didn't even think about it before then, though. The law of gender applies to everything. Everything has yin and yang. On the physical level, everyone has a male or female body, but psychologically, everyone is androgynous with both male and female characteristics. Everyone has a left brain and a right brain. Left brain being logical. Oh, India, awesome. My I hope to be daughter-in-law. My youngest son's girlfriend is her parents are from India, and she's awesome. We like to talk about holistic medicine. How are you tonight? Hope you're having a good night. Okay, so but psychologically, everyone is androgynous with both male and female characteristics. Everyone has a left brain and right brain. Left brain being logical and structured, and then our right side is creative and um, abstract thinking that has its um, creative ways. Um, and in the masculine, the logical brain can also be creative, though maybe tapping into the feminine side. But there's a lot of physicists and logical doctors in universities who are exploring, like, you know, the someone's doing a study on the flower of life, and that it's been, gosh, what's his name? Is that nice black man? Shame on me. I need to find out what his name is and give him a lot of credit because he discovered that it actually moves in a circle, like a spiral. Our universe, the flower of life, and it's been around for centuries, like I would say generations, like going back to like BC AD, where there's all kinds of artifacts of the flower of life in, caveman walls or whatever, um, all kinds of stuff that was sculpture from a long time ago. So, like ancient times. Awesome. I like yoga. I like easy yoga though. I only do like easy. I haven't done yoga in a long time, but I do like to stretch and I like to, I definitely meditate and pray. Yeah, pray to God, most the universal life source. So, um, okay. The okay, so it's saying that we need to keep to really master this law that we need to keep our ego in check. Ego is duality, the outside. Um, the law of rhythm, that it's always moving. It's always, I can hear it now. It's kind of like energy sounds like when I know I have my light beings or um my divine spirit guides, I can hear it. It's like it's an energy and it kind of sounds like a buzz. Um, but it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just kind of like a no, or kind of like, what it sounds like, I guess, like, I've never thought of this before. Like the sprinklers, like, say I'm sitting at my desk, and then say, like, the sprinklers come on, and you can hear it sounds like water running, right? Energy flows, and it's liquid. I think that's what it sounds like. Yay, thank you. That's the closest I think I've been able to explain it as. Um, it's you can hear it, but it's not a pain or something annoying. It's just you're aware, and it gets louder. And they're opening up your clear audience too, is what one of my spirit guides says. If that's happening to you, and that's one of our ascension symptoms, like raising our vibrations to go into 5D and transferring our carbon bodies, dense carbon bodies, into our light being bodies, which is light and crystalline. And we do have crystals in our cells. And we also, when we cry, our tears are so healing because they're full of the crystalline materials and the minerals that re- it refreshes us and it raises our vibrations. So that's why it's good to cry. Um, did I see this? Okay, so to really master this law of rhythm, you need to keep your ego in check. And the tarot card, the ego is the devil card. Also, the Capricorn card. Okay. My son's a Capricorn, but he's a high vibrational one. He would never hurt himself or nobody else. In fact, he's a protector. Okay. That would be your clair alienance is the nose. And is it like a familiar flower? Like maybe because I know like our loved ones will send us my granny, who's from Hawaii, her favorite flower is gardenia. And when I smell gardenias and there's like no gardenias around, I know it's her. So our loved ones do that to us. So they let us know that they send us love. They can also materialize pennies, you know, stuff like that, feathers. Um, so it's really good to like write a book if you or not write a book, but if you get like yeah, write a book. Shit, why not? Um, get like a journal, and then you can talk when you meditate and you said you like when you do yoga, right? Or chanting, you can connect with your higher self, your divine spirit guides and or angels, whoever you connect with, and say, hey, work out a code. Like, I work them out with my family all the time and my guides. Like, my son comes in, I know I get chills on my legs. Um, or he'll do like my video will kind of like one time he made like my mouth. You know how like when you do those old kung fu movies or seen those old kung and then like it was off the talking and he's just a clown. He'll like he's a clown. So he'll do stuff like that to me to my video. But I noticed that it's only on my end. He messes with me. With you guys see it normal, but because I'll double check the video afterwards to see if I need to correct anything, and it looks the same. Oh, aw, bouquet of flowers. My mom brings me a bouquet of flowers, actually. Yeah. So, um, it's good when you're in your meditation because when you're fully in a safe place and you're open and you're cleansed and you're got your protection around you and everything and you're opened up, you can ask them, "Who's bringing me my bouquet of flowers?" "Who is this?" Step forward. Um, you can connect with them that way. Or if they show you a pearl, okay, so what does this mean when you show me a pearl? Does it mean um, I don't know, straight teeth or, wisdom. Or, go buy a pearl necklace. I don't know. That's something that's I've given you homework, okay? You can work that out with your guides, your divine guides. Ask them what if you saw, like, a book, you know, if they show you a book, because usually it comes in symbols. I don't know, everyone's different, but I would see at first I started with colors, and then and feeling with that, I would say, "Oh, your aura is this and that, and and this and that," and then like people's loved ones come in and they would show me colors, and I would explain that feeling. It was abstract. I was very much in my right brain, so it's fun. Yeah. Okay. Steven just froze me. I don't know if you saw that. Hi, Steven. And I got chills on my legs. Yes, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. All right, you guys. We're so close. Look at this. The end. Okay. So, to really master this law, you need to keep your ego in check. Yes, you are the devil card, Stephen. That's the Capricorn card. And the, he's laughing. And the, no, you weren't that bad, but you got sweeter. Thank God. Um, he's high vibrational, Capricorn. So, you know, it's symbolic. And keep in mind, symbols are vibrations too. So you have to be very aware, you know, and, we don't have to like, um, what's the word, get scared or overreactive about something that doesn't agree with you. Stay in the flow. Just keep your silver cord open with your divine heavenly Father, and that is everything. Your body, God is everything. Your body, your cells, your breath, your hair. He's listening. She's listening. Um, Universal life source. He, she, consciousness is listening. And will answer you. Oh wow. Lucky. I wish I could go to the Himalayan mountains. Maybe someday. It makes I'm sorry, but I can't help but think of the first that came to my mind. Maybe my son did this because he's a big joker. And that Jim Carrey movie where he was just he was in a monk. He was just totally in a meditative state, and he had like all these animals around him. It was like that animal movie. Oh gosh, it was like a long time ago, but it's funny. We memorized a lot of the parts about it. It would just Joker. Good. Okay, so and I love the butterfly. Thank you. Okay, so we'll finish this. Do you want me to read the conclusion too? This is the rest of the law, the 11th law of rhythm. No, wait. I'm sorry. The 12th law of gender. It's only 2 pages. That's why I kept going to rhythm. Gender is only 2 pages. Let your ego deal with the physical being. Yeah. And resist temptation. You can redirect your thinking. Think about something else. Stay strong. And for those who are healing and mind over matter, who I know is out there healing their addictions, I'm so proud of you. I am. I'm really, really grateful that you are seeing the self worth in you and the self love of you and doing it. I knew you could. I knew you could. Damn. So good. So so let your ego deal with that. Just make friends with their ego, but don't fall victim to it, okay? Don't be a sucker. Use your street smarts. Let your ego deal with the physical being, but do not let it dominate your emotional being. Exactly. Use your street smarts. Don't be a sucker, a fool, dumbass. We have to be smarter, not harder. By mastering this law, you can create a better balance between your male and female attributes, and everything in your life, personally and professionally, will flow much right because energy is fluid and timeless. Like when we give readings, it could already happened, it could be happening right now, it could be in the future, and those are timelines that we can consent to in our own destiny. We stand in our spiritual authority. We have the ability to consent to not consent, to rebuke demons. We have spiritual authority. We also have the to balance ourselves with that. Oh, I won't. No, sweetheart. Um, the thing is that that was my masculine side, okay? And then my feminine side being nurturing, soft, and intuitive. And men who are in their are intuitive, they're tapped into their female side. So I have a good balance of it because I'm I'm very soft and intuitive. I can always be intuitive 24/7 at the same time that I'm standing my ground if I have to. But I would rather be softer, honestly. I would. I want to relax and just chill and have fun, you know? I want to see the best for everyone and your best and highest good. So, um, but then I can't stand seeing innocents get picked on by bullies. So that's when I have to you know, kick ass and take names and call on my spiritual team. Surrender to God, honestly. I can just stay in my feminine nature and surrender to God because once I surrender to God, they better lay down. Seriously. Okay, so I'll read the conclusion. Putting it all together, what we have learned is the conclusion, right? And that's the whole point. So there you have it. The 12 universal laws before you get overwhelmed, incorporating them into your life is more about understanding. And in the book of Job, understanding is from a long day experiences. Or if you can um, understand it, comprehension, then it'll save you a lot of time and whatever's. So, and conceptualizing, okay, or yeah, then in a meaningful way for you. They don't have to be analyzed. Just understand the concept and keep them in mind to learn how to use them in everyday environments. Yeah, exactly. It's the environment. And that's always been a debate, right? Is someone's personality formed by, was it, were they born like that or is it their environment? You know, I think it's a little of both, but that's an evaluative question. Um, Now that these laws have been introduced to you, they are likely to appear in your life over and over again. Yes. Practice, like playing an instrument, right? So, yeah, I got this book on Amazon. It's 12 chapters. And so I think it was like $10. It was under 20. It's affordable. But I like to get them used too because, you save money that way. And can always donate to a library or like a home, maybe old folks' home or group home. Um, there's another one by the same, is the same author? Yeah, by the same author, and 12 Laws of Karma. Hope it's good. Hope you don't get lumps of clay in your stockings. So I'm gonna get this next, and then I'll read this. But we still have to finish Jesse's the Botar's book. Um, was it God's Kingdom Comes in Power or God's Power in Kingdom? There's two books started that need to be finished, and um, that's one. Finish that. Look at this rabbit. How cute, huh? That's this farm here on Oahu where they have a sanctuary for animals. I bought one for my son once when he was a little boy, And I said, it was a dwarf. And I said, do you want, or you promise it's going to stay dwarfy size? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And if he doesn't, I can bring him back. Oh, yeah, you have such, oh, the thing grew huge. Cuddles. My son named him Cuddles. Cute kids. But yeah, look how fuzzy. It's so cute. All right. I think, should I do a reading? Here's one. Okay. Here's a meditation card. Come, come up. Oh, silent mantra. Come up with mantra. A mantra. Come up with one of your own. It could be as simple as I am capable. I am here and I am confident in my abilities. Repeat this to yourself during the stressful moments in your day. So the first one is I am capable, or come up with your own that will relieve you. I am relieved. I am relaxing. I am healing. I'm reflecting. I am um, intuitive. I am intelligent. Um, I am Popeye. Oh, cute. Ginger cat. I have a pug and a maw pom, a little Pomeranian Maltese. So he's an alpha dog. He thinks he's my dad. He thinks he's the pug's dad. He checks on us and come and get me when our cat needed to come in and look after. He cleans the pug. Very sweet. So okay, so again, a silent mantra. I am capable and oh, I am here and I'm confident in my abilities. And repeat this to yourself during the stressful moments in your day. Okay. So if you want to write it down, take a picture, or come up with your own. And there's tons online, right? And Bible verses. How long has it been? 2 hours. Okay, I better go. It's like 3:44 a.m. What is it in India? Yeah. What are you, like 12 hours ahead? I know Japan is like, I think I think Japan is like 10 hours yesterday. Oh, okay, good. All right. Um, let's see, world clock. India. It's like 7:11. I just looked it up. 7:15 p.m. on the 28th. It's the 28th here. I think you are tomorrow. Right? It's the 29th. Hawaii, like Oahu. It's the 28th here. Oh, it's the 28th for you, but 7:11 p.m. Right? Well, it's great having you here. Thanks for being here. And I better get in bed. It's 3:46 a.m. here. I'm gonna take my staff and chill out. Take a shower. 28th Sunday. Okay. Yeah. It's 3:46 a.m. Sunday in Oahu, Hawaii. And I'm going to take a shower and chillax with my dogs. Cuddle with my dogs. So the divinity in me honors the divinity in you. Collective, star seeds, earth angels. It's an honor being on this divine mission with you. And I salute you with respect and dignity and peace out. Bye. Enjoy your yoga. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Catch you next time, sweetie. I don't have a set time yet. I should do a schedule, but I'm not on a schedule. I have to be on a schedule to make a schedule. Namaste, dear. Namaste. The divinity in me honors the divinity in you. Peace out.